This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, the Dunedin City Council has announced trial closures of the Octagon, which has annoyed some retailers. Dunedinites respond to the news of potential power price hikes of up to $500 a year. And Wanaka cafes are banding together to reduce the amount of single-use cups being used. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. The Dunedin City Council is planning trial closures of the Octagon, including a full closure from January the 27th to February the 16th and partial closures from February the 17th to March the 23rd. Business owners say they will have to shut up shop for good if a proposed closure of the Octagon goes ahead.
A $15,000 trial closure of Dunedin's Octagon means cruise ship buses won't be able to park in the Octagon and will instead head to Toitu or nearby streets, which has irritated some business owners, including I Love Merino's Colin Lim.
The issue first came up when the two ladies that are running the show came in with a couple of pieces of paper to say, tell us what was happening, and then we've heard nothing back from them since then. I've tried to ring the people who are running it, and yesterday I had to leave a message for them to call me back. I haven't heard back from them.
Lim says the closures will mean a reduction in staff levels, and he's already told staff some won't be coming back after Christmas if this goes ahead, as his business mostly relies on tourism.
Most of our business is off cruise ship passengers, and most of those passengers have to be let off in the Octagon, otherwise we won't see them.
Dunedin City Council Infrastructure Services General Manager Simon Drew says staff approached more than 75 businesses in and around the Octagon last week, informing them of the trial closure. And while some businesses were unhappy about it, many agreed to support it in principle. But not all on council agree closing the Octagon is a good idea.
And unfortunately for me, that closure is a little bit too severe. There's a lot of other options on the table that council hasn't proceeded, or as I can see it, haven't identified them. For example, saying that the buses are going to go through to Toitu, 45,000 cruise ship passengers potentially hopping off the buses at Toitu, heading into the Octagon, to me is just a no-go. We've got a lot of other options around Moray Place and more around the Centre City Hub. We need to maintain those options.
Another Octagon business owner says she's spoken to 18 business owners around the Octagon who are all concerned about the significant impact of the closure on their businesses. In Dunedin, The South Today.
The Invercargill City Council is in damage control mode after a key investor is believed to have walked away from a multi-million-dollar redevelopment project. It's understood businessman Jeff Thompson has resigned from the joint venture company pursuing the development. In the middle of last year, an ambitious plan to redevelop an inner-city block was unveiled. At the time, the City Council, Jeff Thompson and a third development company each agreed to put up $25 million towards the almost $200 million cost of Stage 1 of the development. The Otago Daily Times have now been told Jeff Thompson has resigned from the project for personal reasons. This week, the Council held 2 emergency meetings to discuss the development, with public and media excluded from both meetings. Invercargill Mayor Sir Tim Shadbolt says he doesn't wish to comment about Thompson's resignation at this stage. This week's announcement by Aurora Energy of a substantial increase in line charges has sent shockwaves through the region. A vocal critic of the organisation says he saw it coming years ago, so he sent a team out to see what the public really thinks of the proposal.
I'm already a poor student, I can't afford it. I don't have money, we don't have money.
I mean, it shows incompetence by the company for years, not looking after the power lines and the posts, etc. And now it's the consumer's got to pay again.
It's probably unsustainable for a lot of people.
I mean, I can only go on what I've read, and it sounds as though there's been a bit of a lack of investment in infrastructure.
I think it's ridiculous. living is already expensive enough as it is without $500 on top of already expensive power.
I think it's absolutely bonkers. I think they'd be out of their mind to think they're going to get away with it. I mean, just think, the average student here is already sleeping in cold, damp, wet flats. Now they're going to cut down on what power they do use so they can afford food.
No, it kind of sucks with students who are already poor and can't even pay for heating, so...
Just another bill, isn't it? And what about as a home user and a business person? 2 more bills.
Oh wow, I didn't realise it was going to be that much. That's heaps, and that's going to make a massive difference to us, both here and at home. That's going to involve us rebudgeting kind of everything to get between the business and the home increases.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, I did get a letter in the mail saying that it was my things were going to increase by like $8 or something, and it did make me kind of start questioning my workmates what power company they were with, and yeah, but I haven't really put much more thought into it than that, really.
It's going to hurt the people who are on the benefits big time, and maybe the pensioners. And it's just shocking.
One person has died following an early morning crash in Invercargill. Emergency services were alerted to the 2-vehicle crash at the intersection of Oteramika Road and Mill Road South in Seawood Bush about 6:35 a.m. Police confirmed this afternoon that one person died at the scene this morning. Inquiries into the incident were continuing. Police have appealed for anyone who saw the crash or who has information about it to be in touch. A group of Wanaka residents have launched a campaign to make the town free of single-use coffee cups in 2 years' time. 9 local coffee shops have already adopted the new scheme to avoid supplying hot drinks in non-recyclable disposable cups.
The town of Wanaka is known for big mountains, big beauty and now big ideas. The campaign for Suck-Free Wanaka was launched on October 29th and wants to turn the 1 million single-use cups the town currently uses into no single-use cups. It's an ambitious goal, but a doable one, says Brona Parsons.
Now we just have to get people's mindset to change so they think about what they're getting their coffee in, and they already have decided before they go to the coffee shop that they're going to bring their own or else borrow. For the beginning, our goal is just to get it out there and get some community awareness and to get people talking about it.
Wanaka might only be a small part of New Zealand's 295 million disposable cups problem, but they reckon they stand a better chance than most other places to make it happen. This may have something to do with the fact that the local council awarded the project $10,000 from their Waste Minimisation Fund to get it off the ground.
Wanaka is small enough and it is community-based enough to get this started and get everybody behind it. I think it's really important for us to use this money as part of an education of the locals and the tourists.
Sit, BYO or borrow is the key slogan of the campaign. People are encouraged to sit in while they have their coffee or, if they have to rush off, to bring their own takeaway cup. Failing both of those, they can borrow a reusable cup for $3, which they will get back when they return the cup to any participating cafe. Sharon Matthias from Florence's is one of the cafe owners who are committed to going single-use cup free.
I don't think it's going to be any more expensive. We've stopped using plastic lids on cups and that saved us 50% of cost, so I'm sure this system's going to be very economical. For the last month we've warned people, they're very enthusiastic about it. They understand that they can have 20 cups that are worth $60 wherever they want. They can take them back and get their $3 back.
Brona and the rest of the Suck-Free Wanaka team have put a stake in the ground and announced 2022 as their date to get all cafes and coffee drinkers on board, with 11 of the 37 local cafe and restaurants signing up to the borrowing scheme.
Still to come on the South today, we have Global Insight with Professor Robert Patman discussing the future of the Five Eyes Alliance after the latest revelations in UK and US politics. So join us after the break.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. Lana Castle is proud to showcase their new retail space. Simply purchase an annual garden pass for year-round access to the garden, cafe and gift shop, or apply for a host card giving you full access to the castle, ballroom, cafe, gift shop and garden when accompanied by a full paying guest. Check out the website for full terms and conditions.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. The UK and the US may have to pull out of the Five Eyes alliance, according to a Dunedin-based international affairs expert. Professor Robert Patman says attempts by Boris Johnson to cover up Russian involvement in UK politics and new revelations about President Trump's alleged attempted bribery of Ukraine officials puts the security alliance at risk.
An unreleased report in the United Kingdom has important implications for New Zealand and other members of the Five Eyes alliance. Welcome, Robert.
Good morning, Bruce.
What is this Russia report?
It's a report that was compiled quite a long time ago. In fact, it was completed in March 2019. It's a report which was put together by a committee which is called the Intelligence and Security Parliamentary Committee, that's of the UK Parliament. It's bipartisan, it's a cross-party effort, and what they looked at when they were putting together this report was the connection between Russia and the 2016 referendum. After they finished the report in March 2019, it then went to the various security agencies for approval to make sure that nothing had to be redacted or anything like that. That approval process took quite a long time but was completed on October the 17th. It then went to the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, for what should have been a formal sign-off. But 10 days later, which was the time frame allowed for the formal sign-off, no sign of the report being released. And then Mr. Johnson made it clear the report would not be released until after the general election, which has caused uproar, not least from former security heads in the United Kingdom, and also a former Secretary of State in the United States.
Why would Boris Johnson not release this report?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? There's been speculation that it's reported that a publication in the UK has leaked bits of the report, or at least it claims it has. And according to the leaks, it identifies big Russian donors to the Tory party. It's, according to another publication, something like £3.5 million was donated to the Conservative leadership and the party between 2010 right through to 2019, and apparently, and these are Russian businessmen. Many of them have British citizenship, but they operate with the blessing and cooperation of the Russian government.
Does this refusal by the Johnson government, does it have political and strategic implications?
I think they're massive. And at the heart of it raises a big question mark about Britain's continued membership of the Five Eyes alliance, of which New Zealand, Canada, Australia, as well as the United States are members. It's fair to say that apart from Mr. Trump's very partisan presidency in which he fully endorses Brexit, that's not shared, by the way. That view of the 2016 referendum is not shared by many professional intelligence officials in the United States who know a lot about the situation. The Mueller inquiry unearthed a lot of information linking Russian involvement in the Brexit campaign to Russian involvement in the 2016 election, which occurred just 4 months after the EU referendum. So why does it raise a question mark? Well, on two fronts. The Five Eyes Alliance was established in the 40s and the 50s by the 5 English-speaking countries to uphold the international rules-based order. And at the heart of that commitment is an absolute commitment to uphold the rule of law, and also to protect that rule of law against authoritarian forces which may be trying to subvert it. On both counts, the Johnson government is now looking very vulnerable. Countries like Canada, New Zealand and Australia haven't spoken out about it publicly, but I think there's a fair amount of concern about the direction of Britain is now going, and certainly Britain's strategic credibility within the Five Eyes, the fact that it can't come to terms with law breaking that's gone on. I mean, so far we've been focusing on the Russian angle, but it should be stressed that the Independent Electoral Commission in the UK found Vote Leave, which was headed by Boris Johnson and Michael Gove, as well as Mr. Johnson's, it was masterminded by Mr. Johnson's senior advisor now in Downing Street, Mr. Dominic Cummings. It found it guilty of massive electoral irregularities. They were fined in excess of 100,000 New Zealand dollars. When they challenged the Electoral Commission's findings, they did not succeed in their appeal, and they then had to pay an additional 330,000 New Zealand dollars in costs because of the abortive nature of their appeal. So this didn't go down well. I don't think in a liberal democracy you don't expect everything to work perfectly, but what you do expect is that when governments and elected officials are confronted with clear evidence of wrongdoing, they act on it. What we're seeing in Britain, unfortunately, under the Johnson government, has been a clear cover-up.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Catch us next time on Global Insight. Ka kite anō.
And you can view the full interview with Professor Patman online at odt.co.nz. After the break on the South today, the city of Timaru is nearly brought to a standstill by a wild hailstorm, and we have the weather going into the weekend, so stay with us.
Garage Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 17 years. New doors, replacement doors and maintenance are all part of Garage quality service. Garage Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life. it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Thanks for staying with us. The town of Timaru and surrounding area encountered heavy hail yesterday afternoon. Hailstones bigger than golf balls brought the town to a standstill and caused at least one vehicle crash on the highway.
Thunderstorms were experienced across North Otago yesterday, but it was Timaru that bore the brunt of the extreme weather. The deluge saw hailstones the size of golf balls and larger pelting the town. Niwa meteorologist Ben Knoll says cold air in the upper atmosphere and rapid heating of the ground by sunlight provided the right environment for hail. The combination of the two different air temperatures can cause rising motion or wind in the atmosphere. And he says the Canterbury Plains are the meeting point for winds from the interior of the country and coastal winds, which created instability and caused the hailstones which rained down yesterday. During the storm, a Toyota Hiace van skidded off the road and into a ditch. Police say the accident had left the vehicle's occupants shaken. In Timaru, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The Dunedin City Council has announced trial closures of the Octagon, which has annoyed some retailers and even some on the council. Following yesterday's news of power price hikes, Dunedinites respond to the news expressing some pretty blunt feelings. And Wanaka cafes are banding together to reduce the amount of single-use cups being used in the resort town. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Barry. What have you got for us in tomorrow's ODT?
Well, lots of stuff in the ODT tomorrow. The DCC has issued its findings of the resident satisfaction survey. Parking and congestion are the major gripes, so that probably doesn't surprise anybody.
I was going to say that's no surprise at all.
There you go. So there's a forum there to put your case forward. So that's there, and we've got the full details of that survey. So plenty to discuss there. Family of a young man killed by a drink driver have spoken out against the justice system after the driver's sentence was reduced by 7 months, so they're concerned about that. Queenstown Mayor Jim Bolt says he is serious about pushing the Dunedin City Council to help fund the regeneration of Aurora's lines network. A stock agent is in court in Dunedin, charged with $2 million worth of fraud and thefts. So details of that in the paper tomorrow. Extra buses may be added to the Port Chalmers route because of the demand, particularly when cruise ships are in town. Apparently all the cruise ship passengers take up the seats on the bus and there's no room left for the locals. So It looks like the OSC are recognising that, and potentially there could be new services on. Lots of sport happening around the region and internationally and nationally. So Black Caps playing England, first day of the test, of course. There's a test in Australia against Pakistan. So all that action is covered in our sports pages tomorrow.
Fantastic. So there's something for everyone in tomorrow's ODT. And now it's time for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with today's southern view, plenty of Saxapeel in central Dunedin this afternoon. Looking at the situation, a period of westerly airflow will take us through the weekend and into next week, with some showers at times in western and southern areas. Starting off at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport are set for grey skies and 17 degrees. Across to the northeast, Nelson and Blenheim can expect cloudy skies and a pleasant 25 degrees. Moving down to Canterbury, you'll have some cloudy skies across this area. Kaikoura heads for 22, Christchurch you should make it to 23, and Ashburton you're similar but one better on 24. To the southern outlook, Balclutha, the Catlins can both expect strong westerlies and rain later with 18 degrees. Similar but cooler for Lumsden and Gore with both heading for 16 degrees. To the central outlook, Wanaka you're due for strong northwesterlies, cloud increasing with 19 degrees, Queenstown prepare for moderate westerlies with showers and 18, Alexandra you're due for strong northwesterlies increasing cloud and 21, and Te Anau the same again, fresh strong westerlies, rain and 16 degrees. To the southern towns, Timaru and Oamaru have fresh northwesterlies and high cloud. Timaru reaches 24, Oamaru 23. Twizel and Amarama can expect strong northwesterlies with cloud increasing and a high of 19. In Dunedin, cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 9. Fine tomorrow but with some cloud and also some sunny periods, especially during the afternoon. Then fresh to gusty warm northwesterlies developing, a high of 22 and a low of 12. And it's colder on Saturday with cloudy skies and a breezy northeasterly developing, a high of 14 and a low of 10. And in Invercargill, cloud increasing tonight with an overnight low of 9 degrees. It's going to be cloudy tomorrow with the showers returning to rain during the day, coupled with strong gusty westerlies, a high of 16 and a low of 9. Showers clearing but remaining cloudy on Saturday. It's with fresh southwesterlies dying out, a high of 13 and a low of 8. And that's all from the South Today team for this Thursday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and follow Channel 39 on Facebook and YouTube. Have a great evening. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.